Sorry. So bad. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you're doing an edible?
Yeah.
Not sharing?
You want some?
Sure, I'll take an edible. Let's see what...
Take it all. Take it all.
California, baby.
That's right.
Okay, so...
I do tend to be more soft-spoken.
Yeah, so I'm not. So the microphone's a bit more in your way. I'm pretty sure. Can you just say your name real fast?
My name is Calvin Scott, or Calvin Arsenia, a.k.a. your friendly neighborhood harpist.
You're good. I think I might give you a little bit more of it.
My name is Calvin Arsenia Scott. I play the harp, but I'm from Olathe.
Wow. Good way to start. That edible kicked in fast. Okay. So I think we're good on audio level. It's 120 right now. I'm checking the wind. Oh, that wind is real. It's going. I'll just look at it periodically. All right. So, hold on. I can't wait to hear that. But so the way that I normally start the program is that the guest and I sing the intro song.
Oh, how's it go?
Okay, so you never heard the program before?
No.
Half joke. No one has. Okay, so it's Time Waster Radio. So I'll just sing it to you once, and then we can whatever. Okay, it goes like this. Time Waster Radio. Radio for those who refuse to listen.
Okay.
So you can do it on your own. We can do it together. Whatever you feel. We can do it several times. Do you want me to do it? 1, 2, 3. Time Waster Radio. Radio for those who refuse to listen. Wow, you are a professional. You'd be surprised at how many people fuck that up. I thought you'd want to do a little higher, like a little...
Time Waster Radio. Radio for those who refuse to listen.
Defection. Thank you. Okay, so welcome to the show again. I know it's been a while. Today we have Calvin Arsenia, or Calvin Scott. Do you have a preference?
Well, I chose to go by Calvin Arsenia for music because it's my first and middle name. And there is a musician from the 30s that was Calvin Scott. That was a blind piano player that did jazz. And so I thought for Googleability that I would go by my first and middle name.
Okay, Googleability. All right. Not like for, when you're an actor in the Actors Union.
We don't have guilds in the music world.
Really? There aren't?
I mean, not like that.
Yeah, now where they're like super, like your name means a lot.
In the acting world.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, in music world you can be whoever you want as many times as you want, except if it's like a band name and then people trademarked it or something. Like, I have a friend who, recently had a cease and desist because they had picked the same name as another band that was no longer active, but was active in a legal sense.
No.
And so they had to, change their name.
Yeah, I've been sued by Peter Max.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
No, who's that?
He's the pop artist from the 60s. He's dying right now, unfortunately. But yeah, no. It's like being named Coca-Cola.
Right.
It truly,
right.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But eventually we're all going to be named Coca-Cola, so it doesn't really matter. But so I'm curious, the Googleability, when you were, the Googleability, were you considering the heights of your career and that you might possibly move into acting and then you'd have to change your name to be on screen?
That was not one of my considerations. However, I do feel that I made sure like it's fine. Like if I became an actor, I think that I would still be the only Calvin.
Unless
Arsenia.
there's like a 13-year-old right now who's in Stranger Things and his name is Calvin.
Arsenia though?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Okay. Hold on. The kids are coming up, and they got all kinds of names.
Yeah, that's true.
So that is really your middle name?
It is, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was named after my great-great-grandfather, whose name was Arsenia Stiles.
Okay.
And he was a farmer, and...
Whereabouts was he a farmer?
Central Virginia. And yeah, I remember him. He was one of the first people that I ever experienced die.
Okay.
Because I remember hanging out with him when he was still alive, but I think he died when I was 4 or 5 or 6 years old, maybe 6, and just being in the hospital with the whole family and when it happened, and really, really feeling overwhelmed by that. But my memories of him being alive, the taste of orange chocolate, orange.
Infused chocolate or
I think he gave me these gummy worms, orange gummy worms, or they were strips.
with the Hershey's bar?
No.
Oh, they had chocolate on the
Yeah, they were
worms?
chocolate covered gummy worms.
I vaguely remember this promotional season.
But every time I saw him, he would give me something. It was usually candy.
Okay.
And,
Well, bribes are important.
right, please stop whining. Please stop asking me questions.
Yeah.
Eat this, please.
It was a working farm.
It did work, yes.
Yeah.
His legacy lives on in me, and I have taken his name. And, yeah.
Is there someone else running the farm?
I don't think... No,
They sold the land?
Yes, it's over, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then that leads, I guess, to the next question. So how long, your family, you grew up in Kansas.
Yeah.
Are your first memories in Kansas, or?
No. I was born in Orlando, in the suburbs. I grew up in the suburbs there, in a small town called Lake Mary, and I used to walk to my elementary school. And I remember as old as turning 4. I remember very distinctly that day, and
Why? Yeah.
So the reason why it's such a landmark is because that day, they always took a picture of the kids on their birthday, and I had Miss Susan, and Miss Debbie. One had frizzy brunette hair, and the other was blonde. They both had bangs, and kind of straight poofy hair and curly permed hair.
Yeah.
And on my 4th birthday, I remember them telling me to put my fingers up and to count, to show that I was 4 years old.
Okay.
But I couldn't spread my fingers. I couldn't separate them to make them look like they were all individual fingers. So they kept migrating into one paddle of a hand.
You can't do the Spock thing.
I couldn't do the Spock. I mean, I can now, but
I can.
But at 4, my hand wasn't strong enough to keep them separate. So, but they made such a big deal out of it, and I was like, but when it's still the 4 fingers on the top, the thumb is tucked in. Why does this not count as 4? And I remember being very frustrated, that they were making a big deal out of my fingers being close together. So. This is
some intense. This is some intense trauma here.
It was.
Listen, I still every time I tie my shoes, I have a surge memory from kindergarten. It is not fun. Why do they make you learn how to do it on pieces of wood? It doesn't make sense. Do it how you're going to do it,
right?
Not in some. Well,
so I remember being 3, and I remember being 4 very, very distinctly. And
so that was all Orlando.
That was Orlando. Then I moved to Richmond area when I was 8. I lived there for 2 years, and then we moved to Kansas City to Olathe at 10 years old.
So the formative years are all Kansas, basically. I mean, everything is a formative year.
Right. That's true.
But interactions with society at large, became
my stronger friendships. Because in elementary school, I changed schools every year too, because we moved around so much and school districts, and so I didn't really have any long-term friends until I had been in Kansas City for a while.
Yeah, and when you got to Olathe, did you go straight to Olathe?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that also, were you walking to school?
No.
I'm from Wyandotte County, so I don't know what it's like in Olathe. I've only heard rumors.
We have these big yellow things called buses.
Whoa. I heard Kamala Harris talk about that.
The big yellow school bus would pick me up at the end of the street. And
how long was the drive?
Probably 20 minutes.
Okay. So the school wasn't super far from me, and that's picking up people up too.
That's what I'm saying. That's the bus.
Yeah, you were
5
super
minutes
close.
in the car. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll have to check out this place they call Olathe someday.
You can.
Do you go back?
No.
No.
I mean, sometimes, but rarely.
Do you dip in and you dip out? You see family and stuff.
I see my parents. They still live there.
The same house?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But, okay, so now let's all try to be slightly more professional, even though I can feel the edible kicking in. Yeah, it's
I'm taking vitamins.
awesome. We're in California on a nice, beautiful, foggy... Yeah, we're in San Francisco. We're actually at the Dinner Party Residency. I didn't even know if you knew that was the name of the title of the place. But
I didn't, but I love that.
But yeah, welcome. You're now officially... yeah,
in residence.
You've had to... yeah.
Yeah.
Pop back in, too. It's a flexible schedule, as you notice. It's a beautiful, foggy day. As it was yesterday, we went for a walk to the coast, which was also... You said it looked a lot like Scotland, or no?
Yeah, the weather, yes.
Yeah.
The fog and the gray and the bleak and that's just so comforting and inspiring.
And you know this because you spend a lot of time in Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland's my chosen home. Although I don't currently reside there, it is a place where I feel like I will always go back to. And I'm on a little bit of a hiatus from that country right now.
You were there for how long?
I lived there for 2 years, and I've been to 7 of the last 10 Fringe festivals.
Okay. That's quite the dedication. That's quite a lot.
I know. So, like, every August, like, it's August 1st now.
So when you
every
say
August,
this year is really a break, you're like not going.
I'm
it's
like
a conscious
not going,
effort.
and like I've had to sit in my hands this whole year to like not make plans and not figure out how to get there because that's what I've been doing forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it feels very strange, but I think it's for the best. This year is all devoted to growing different communities and followings and exposure in America. And most of my life I always felt like, especially growing up in a suburb, that the things that I was attracted to or drawn to were so strange and obscure that I would never really find a following in the States. And so my career as a musician and songwriter, although I did perform some in Kansas City before I moved to Scotland, I really felt the permission to blossom when I was living there, and to kind of do more performance art and incorporate other senses and collaborate with different people. When I had attempted to do that in Kansas City and in Olathe and the suburbs, like, people laughed at me and told me that
I almost giggled. I'm glad.
Do that, you know? Yeah.
I was gonna. So it was mostly Olathe Central or centered when you were trying to.
Yeah, in Johnson County. That was mine.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's now it's blossoming. Now I'm sure they'd beg to have you come back, and
But I think
they will.
It's I don't know. A lot of it it's a mixture of things. So,
Yeah.
but so I felt the permission to really open my wings when I was there in Scotland, and made some incredible friendships and alliances, and because a portion of my genetic makeup comes from that area of the world as well, it also feels like a going home of sense too.
It's a fast getting out from the place that you grew up, and especially like I'm sure you were in your room by yourself doing a lot of reading, a lot of musical teaching
Here?
yourself. No, it's
Yeah.
How were you hiding from? Did you have friends? Were you going out?
No, I mean my whole life was running prayer meetings. Like,
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
I was incredibly social, but I had a lot of friends, but it was mostly around church and prayer meetings.
Yeah.
Which was like spontaneous. Like, we would read scripture, we'd read the Bible, and then we would make songs, and we'd write songs on it and improvise for hours.
You know what's wrong with this world? There's not enough good Christian music. And we're talented, so we should really... You know what? Let's do it.
Okay.
Is that what was happening? It was a small group of you guys making some good Christian songs.
Well, we were praying for specific people, you know. And praying,
Lord.
Yeah, like it was, we identified first as intercessors, as people who would bridge the gap between God and the community of sinners, was kind of the premise.
Okay.
And we took it as a responsibility, our divine duty, our fate, our calling, and it was the most serious thing, you know?
Yeah.
And we would fast and pray and
Who'd you pray for the most, do you remember? Was there someone in particular? Is there someone you guys were really worried about? Someone you cared about personally? You're like, yes.
I mean, there were seasons of people like that, people that we felt God had brought into our lives.
Nelly needs help. Did that make sense? No.
From
St. Louis? Yeah.
Yeah.
He needed help on several levels.
We would not probably pray for celebrities. It was mostly people that we knew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jennifer and her car wreck last week, or
stuff like that.
And there's a beautiful. I'm not trying to be super cynical or.
Yeah, but also just like praying for revival in general, and I don't know. There was something like really beautiful about finding the edge of human experience and this communal connection, and how the frenzy and emotional stirring that music and intention blended together could muster. It was incredible.
I love the pageantry. That's one of the few things I loved about the Catholic Church. Like, everyone hated Mass. It was solace to me, because then it was all like fabrics and
and incense,
accoutrement.
Yeah.
And I love that part. And everyone else,
this, leave that.
yeah. And that was the part most people were like, "Oh my God, it's gonna take forever." And I was like, "At least I get a break from talking to you guys."
Yeah.
I truly did enjoy Mass a little bit.
Yeah.
I sometimes, I wake up on Sundays occasionally, and I'm like, nah, I think I'll just stay home. But what did you? So what? I don't know. What was the belief system like that you were?
It was like Protestant Christianity. So I grew up in a Southern Baptist church,
Okay.
Which is a denomination, not a location. There are Southern Baptist churches, and then there are Southern Baptist churches.
Yeah, I'm Kansas enough to remember that.
Okay.
For the viewers at home.
For the viewers, yeah. And then I went to a non-denominational church, which basically means that they don't really funding or accountability. Don't receive funding or accountability from one of the major churches like the Methodist Church or the Episcopalian or the Presbyterian or whatever. So it's like separate from those churches. And then I was also involved in a few different charismatic movements, Pentecostal and Vineyard, but I just wanted to be a part of all the churches and be the thing that blended them all together. We
don't need to be different.
Yeah.
We can all just
get along.
What you just said reminded me that maybe I was like, oh yeah, because there was that whole oh God, I'm so terrible. The pop-up crowds, that movement that was happening for a while, where people just spontaneously show up in groups and do something. Sometimes it was positive. Flash mobs.
Yeah.
And now I'm picturing, of course, there were probably a lot of Christian elements to some. People were like, you know what? Let's go bring Jesus love to Oak Park Mall right now.
Yes, that would happen.
Awesome.
We'd go there.
Jealous.
And we would stand in groups of people and pray for people.
And sing about how the gap doesn't really matter. And then, it would be negative. So, yeah.
No. So anyway.
Well, sorry. Yeah.
And there was a time when I took a cross, like I told you, to Westport, to this area of bars in Kansas City.
You took the cross. Okay.
It was Good Friday, and that's how we celebrated.
Did you intentionally or unintentionally be camping this up? Were you dressed like Jesus? Or?
No.
This is very puritanical. You were
super puritanical.
So you just carried the cross. Was it like a life-sizey?
It was massive.
It was massive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And heavy and sharp.
Oh wow! No one thought about sanding it down a little bit, making it safe for people.
No, we would
Jesus
take
would make
pleasure.
it safe.
Exactly, we would take pleasure in the reality of the blood.
I didn't sand mine down either. Just for seriously.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I am curious though. In Olathe, so was the church that you were in was it mostly white? Was it a mixture?
Mostly white.
It was mostly white. Okay. That's my
same as my school and same as everything else in my life.
That's my Wyandotte County. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay. They were really white over there, right?
Yeah, super white.
It's funny because I'm white, just in case you don't know that. Yeah, I need to dip into Olathe next time. I'm going to do a deep dive, and if you're there, we'll do another podcast, and we can go on a little road trip. Show me where the prayer mountain is, and
yeah, I'll show you all the places.
Let's do a fucking concert.
It was like my it was my calling. I never wanted to leave Olathe. That was ever.
I don't think that's a Kansas thing, because I grew up that way too. Yeah. I honestly, and I mean, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have moments where people are like, I can't believe you actually left, because I have conversations with people who haven't left now, and it concerns me. I'm like, they have I don't want to generalize, but I do get a sense when you meet a lot of Kansans, even ones who are adventurous, like there is a part of you when you're there, you're like, but why?
Yeah.
Like, it's safe, it's comfortable here, which is not true. There's tornadoes, there's flooding.
All of the weather wants to kill you.
It's flooding right now.
Is it?
Yeah, Lawrence is like underwater.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, all of the weather wants to kill you in the Midwest. And the bugs, and yeah. I mean, the one thing that we have that you don't have out here in California is like, it's not gonna earthquake. Although we did have an earthquake.
That's not true. I was gonna say that's not
But, like,
true. There is a fault line through
But
there.
you do believe that you're not gonna have an earthquake. Like, that's not a daily concern. But we do have, like, heat stroke and, like, hypothermia and snowstorms, ice storms, like torrential rain, tornadoes.
It's beautiful. It's like every 4 days is a new. I remember like when the weather's good and it stays like whatever your version of good is.
Right.
Let's just say like a California day.
Yeah.
If it went over 4 or 5 days, you start.
You get really nervous.
Exactly. You're like something's up.
wrong.
Yeah. Something's about to happen.
Right.
Sky will fall.
Yeah. No, they always say like if you don't like the weather in Kansas City, just wait a little bit. It's gonna change.
Or let it pick you up and take you to another place. Okay, so then you left LA. So you went to school in Kansas. You went to
I
high
went
school.
to high school and junior college.
Johnson County or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the area, and then
What'd you study at Johnson County? Not that kids don't go to school anymore, so I don't care. But I'm just asking. Education's important.
I'd studied audio engineering and classical voice.
Oh, so you must think this setup is hilarious.
That's cute.
Thanks. It is totally. It's supposed to be trashy and never claimed otherwise. I took a few of those classes too, but technology's changed. It's easy now.
Yeah, it's super easy. You're doing great.
Thanks. Appreciate it. And then you went to Scotland?
Yeah. I visited Scotland for the first time in 2010, and I went with a group from my church.
Okay.
We played in a band, and they...
What was the name of the band?
It was called Trelise.
Trelise? Spell it.
Trelese.
Trelise. I don't know.
And it was to release the Trinity.
I was going to guess something like that. And then you moved to Poseidon, but we'll get there in a second. I just realized the Trident, the Trinity.
Yeah, you seeing the whole picture, or at least parts of it, hey. So I went there the first time in 2010. We were there for 2 weeks. I went back there with them, and on this trip I played like a light-up Casio keyboard with a battery-powered amp. That was my job. I played piano.
You were getting camp. You were getting a little glittery over there.
I was jamming. On that keyboard.
You got to reach the people, man.
Yeah, well, there was nothing else really like light show happening, and so it's like I'm gonna let the light up keys stay on.
Little LEDs.
Yep.
And all that.
Yeah. I had lots of fans.
Have those little machines that like connect to the machine? Like they have the lights. I've seen people have these like little light setups that they put around their said instruments and key, and then like they're hooked in, so like when you play certain notes, the lights
change.
Yeah,
it wasn't that fancy.
Some Radio Shack shit. All of that.
It wasn't that fancy. So then when I was there the second time in 2011, I was invited to be a part of the church community that we had kind of gone and partnered with, and they were like our tour guides, and we did some partner things with them to help the community. And so they asked me to come back and be kind of a musical liaison between the church and the music scene there. And so I reluctantly...
This has another chapter to it, I realize, because you did this while you were being very much involved in the church. Mm-hmm. What happened when you... Oh, so, you did this...
You might be getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah, well... our time frame is...
That's true. I was...
your manager is waving to me right now and saying, wow, wrap this up. So.
I went... and moved there, but I was afraid to, because I had always thought I would just grow up and find a girl and get married and move to Miriam.
Have a little have a farm in Miriam. A little glory farm.
Little house, yeah.
They still do white picket fences.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted a white picket fence in Miriam, Kansas.
A swan in your pond that's too small to contain the swan, so it kind of attacks you every time you drive out.
Mostly I just wanted the hanging baskets of pansies and petunias. Like, those are my favorite thing.
That's a little after my time. That's fancy for what I remember. But also, you're talking about Olathe, so I have no idea.
I'm talking about Miriam.
Miriam. Oh, I'm sorry. Because they're all in the same place in my brain. I was actually raised in. I spent my first. Not my first 6 weeks of life were in a nunnery or convent. Nunnery. It's like Henry Miller-esque. But then when I was adopted, my parents lived for like 6 months in Miriam. And then Roanoke? Are they the same thing? No.
Roland Park?
Roland Park? There's Roanoke. Whatever.
Roanoke is a neighborhood and a street.
I've been gone so long. I guess I should stop saying I'm Kansan. That's Missouri anyway. Wait, no, that's still the Kansas side. Yeah, Miriam, Kansas.
Yep.
Used to pay taxes to that goddamn city.
It's so cute.
I'm glad someone thinks so.
Anyway.
We have actually some regular listeners from Miriam. So.
Yeah, I love Miriam. So that was my dream. So then when I got invited to go to Edinburgh and to play there, I was kind of like I had to ditch one of my dreams to like go find a new one.
Which dream were you ditching? Jesus?
Oh no, I was ditching Miriam dream.
Oh. I'm sorry, I'm a terrible interviewer. I didn't follow that immediate statement. I think the weeds kicked in. So when you ditched with the house dream, did that help with, so there was the idea of the woman. Had you had girlfriends and stuff before?
I mean, not really.
Prayer partners.
Yeah, I was mostly that. Yeah.
It's a good cover.
Yeah.
The first beards ever, prayer partners. I love Jennifer. It's so much fun to hang out with her. We get it. We read the same verses.
I mean, there were multiple girls I had crushes on, but like
several.
Yeah, for sure. But I just thought they were beautiful. Like I didn't really feel the inclination to touch them or anything, you know.
They were just sweet.
They were just beautiful people.
Yeah. Which is true. Yeah. And when you believe in Jesus that much, it comes through the skin. So feel it.
They were glowing. The glory of Jesus.
You know what I'm talking about. Like, Calvin. I'm sure there was a lot of that. We could do better for her. All right, so let's move on to then you go to Scotland, you come back, you're in Kansas City again.
Yeah.
And then where were you playing? Like if you were going out to do, how does a harpist start playing in Kansas City? As someone who lived in Kansas, I mean, I know there were people like, yeah, totally cool, this would be awesome. Yeah. But I know getting people to show up for that concert is going to be a little bit different.
Well, what I did in Scotland, let's go back a little bit. What I did in Scotland was, so I started playing like a year before I left to go to Scotland, and then when I was there, I made it and I rented a harp. And then when I got there,
you were making a fucking point. You were going to learn the harp.
I was going to learn the harp, and I was I'm going to learn it the right way. I'm going to learn it from a traditional harpist because I'm here in the place where it came from, kind of, you know, and at least the Celtic harp, and like I made it for about 2 weeks before I had to rent another one once I got there. And it was my love. And so I started playing a lot more, and I started taking it with me on the buses and on benches and on beaches and just everywhere I could take it. And play and learn and grow, and I sucked so bad for the first 3 years. My hands would shake and tremor every time I would try to play in front of other people. But what I was trying to do was just get myself used to sucking until I sucked less, and then I would just be better. And you just gotta put the time in. I learned that you just literally no one can give you the time that is required to be good at anything.
I think that applies to everything that you want. Yeah.
So, but just gave myself a lot of grace because I had been teaching students guitar and piano for many years at that point, and it's I've seen what it takes to get better at something. I'm gonna treat myself like one of these students, and just keep doing it. And you have to put the time in, you know. So.
And you never. It's a different magic hour for everyone too when it finally clicks. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm jealous of you. I wish I had learned. I wish I had made that effort. I did that with other things, but just couldn't do it with
the harp.
The harp. You see these piano fingers. Yeah. No, I wish I had done that, but whatever. You can't. I can still do it.
You can, if you want to.
Exactly.
So a part of my tactic for my for the church or whatever, the plan was just to go to do as many open mics as I could per week, and to get to know those musicians that were regulars and be a benefit to their life in whatever way I could. And
this was in Scotland?
This was in Scotland. So I got to know the music scene really, really, really well, really quickly. Mm-hmm. And so when I moved back to Kansas City, I was like, okay, I'm going to do that, but in Kansas City, because I don't really want to be in my hometown anymore. too many people. Like, I would walk into a Walmart there, and they'd just be like, "Oh my God, how are you?" Like, or not, they would never say, "Oh my God, oh my gosh, how are you?" And
Good.
and
Thanks for clearing that up.
and like you've inspired me so much, and like, oh, you're doing such great things for God. And when they haven't spoken or heard from me in 2 years, and it was just way too much. Like, it's just too much.
Yeah.
Like, to me, although I know it was coming from a really, really beautiful place, when I received that message, it was very pointed and jagged, and it was like, I can't be.
What are you doing at Target?
No, like for me to be an inspiration to them, even though I had been like really hating myself and like struggling with self-hatred and depression and the crisis of faith, and then and I'm their hero. Like, what do I do in the situation?
Kansas City.
I just have to leave. Like,
So where did you go?
so I moved downtown into the city, into the more urban area, and just became.
Oh, you left Kansas City. He left Kansas and went to Missouri.
Yeah, I left Olathe and moved downtown. And because that was the
Because that's the big city, and
it wasn't even that. It's like cost of living is good. The people are nice, like, and
it's a fucking nice city.
It's a great place. I mean, it was better than And the whole reason I moved back to America anyway was so that I could be an artist. Because in order to apply for the artist visa, one of the things is that you have to be making a living as an artist for over a year before you can apply. Yeah. And I hadn't done that before that. So
I gotta go back.
So I gotta go back home. I'm not gonna renew this visa. I don't want to work for the church anymore. I'm gonna go back.
So did you have to make public statements to not work for the church anymore, or like did the rumors spread?
No, none of that. I was really good at concealing myself. Which is
until your music video is released and everyone's like, "Holy hell! Have you seen what Calvin's been doing lately?"
And I had multiple shows that were like that too, like before the music videos came out. So it was small and subtle. I mean, subtle in ways. I mean, I would gather people, 100, 200, 300 people deep, and like have some kind of softcore homoerotic thing happen on stage.
Oh yeah, you allude to that. That's gonna happen tonight, right?
Well, maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, too much pressure. Tonight the Starline, but this won't be online for probably another week, so it'll be too late. It's fine.
But I guess I was just trying to say, like, if I'm going to be encouraging other people to live in their highest truth and in their highest self.
Yeah.
And I am not living that life myself, then I am the hypocrite that I hate.
Amen.
And so I can't keep living this lie, which was, I mean, and which was not even.
What lie were we talking about? Which one?
I guess it was about my sexuality mostly, because I think that I don't really have anything against Jesus.
No, he's a great guy.
He's just fucking great, and I wish that the church represented him more, so that I could still be a part of it. Like, honestly, if I could have like what I want, I would love to be part of that. I
fucking love Jesus.
Yeah.
I just don't like Christians who espouse him in the name of hate. That's
right. So then I mean, most of that time that I was in middle school and high school, like, we saw the Westport Baptist Church, and we like disliked what they were doing because we wanted to always be in the name of love, but we were kind of still doing the same shit.
Westport Baptist, were they a little hardcore group?
Those are the guys God Hates Fags group.
No, Westboro. Oh, in Topeka.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I misheard you.
So we'd see them. Like,
I heard you say Westport. I'm so sorry.
No, Westboro. Yeah. So we'd see them do their thing and get like press.
What are they doing?
They're so mean,
They're tarnishing the name of the Lord.
Right, but at the same time, in the pulpits of the churches that I went to, they were just like, we can't accept this behavior. Mm-hmm. So it's not the same overtness, but it's almost worse because it's discreet.
I completely agree.
And so
silence is violence, man.
Yeah. So
whatever that.
I went. I was just sick of hating myself. And I guess that's the lie that the thing I was trying to conceal was that that I liked myself. Maybe that is the secret, or that I believed that I had been healed of this thing that I was supposed to hate, and that I believed that God would heal me of this, that it was something to be healed of and from. And so I concealed that from all of my community. Now, my finances as a missionary and as a Christian educator, because I did that for a while too, were all based on the pretense that I subscribed to the morality that they believed in, that my employer would have believed in, and so I got to a place where I couldn't function.
I need to go have a gay bar train spotting night. Everyone needs to be okay with that.
Right.
I didn't come all this way not to go do that.
Right. Yeah. And I don't want to feel like I'm going to lose my house because I did that.
Yeah. Well, the structure is deep.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it was food or lie, or like food or this projection of the stuff that I believe that they wanted to see of me. So, and it was nobody outrightly said like this is like you have to do this or else you're getting fired or like any of that stuff, you know. But it was just kind of the understanding of like what it felt like and.
Well, it's a moment of truth. Like when you see hypocrisy and you know you have to make a decision, like, well, I stand with it, and you do, and then you see the larger structure of our society, and you realize, oh wow, this is all built on hypocrisy. It's astounding. Mm-hmm. So it's beautiful when you can take a moment and like take a stand. So
yeah, and but
we're forced if I use the fag word, sorry, or just homosexuals or queers in general or whatever, any nonconformist person. Yeah, it's standing up, like having that moment and being very clear is very powerful, and it saddens me that I mean, the world's changed quite a bit. I think kids are able to do it a lot more easily, but I actually don't. It's still not easy.
Right, and it depends. It really depends on your settings.
Oh, like, for sure. It's like
and your parents and your community and
your brother, your sister.
I mean, we know that like the like far right, like they're out there in droves and they can be evil, and there's people in those communities who need to come. You know,
they're so gay.
Need to come out.
No, you don't get to that point unless you can't express. Like that's some visceral, primal, can't be yourself shit, and you're like, oh, see, that's sad. But yeah, it's. I don't know. But the Midwest, so you went through that. When you came back here in Missouri, you're like, and then you obviously seen the town change quite a bit in its own weird way. Yeah. So now it's been 2 years that you've been touring, or before?
Like, I moved back in 2014, and it's 2019 now. I've been there 5 years.
Oh, you've been there. Okay.
Back
I thought you left
City.
Again.
No. I've been touring off and on for the last 3 years.
Okay.
And going through parts of the U.S. and Europe, back to Scotland a few times, and other places, Scandinavia, France. Yeah.
Where's your favorite place in the world besides Scotland?
No.
Besides Kansas City. I'm sorry, Olathe.
No.
Okay, no. Where do you want to go?
There is this like steam room on an island in Amorgos. On Amorgos.
Is that a Greek island?
Yeah.
Oh.
This steam room is so fun. It's great to sing in.
It's a place you're thinking about going back to?
It's a nice place.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite places. Because it's like eucalyptus scented. Like they've got like these branches like of eucalyptus that they tie up and throw in there, and then you just like steam and eucalyptus.
The spa culture is real. It's nice. It's beautiful.
What else do I like? I really love Örebro in Sweden.
Never been.
But it's quaint and cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's your secret county in Missouri? You don't go past Kansas City, have you? Do you go into the Ozarks or?
I mean, I have.
Just dipping in.
We had Bible camp in Windermere.
Bible camp. There's quite a bit down there, I would assume.
Yeah.
I bet it's like a super haven, actually.
Yeah.
If they reboot Glee, it should be in Arkansas and Christian.
With like Michael W. Smith and oh my god, that'd be so funny. Oh, that'd be so funny. You know, worship teams are probably even worse than you.
They're my favorite, and I forgot the term for them, but I'm so glad I was like, they're not the drill team. Worship squad?
Worship team.
Oh, worship. I think I know some worship squads.
But they're like the hardcore. As a TV show though, like as a oh my god, that'd be so funny. Because they can be catty.
They're meaner
But
than me.
they didn't let me sing in church for a long time.
Okay, let's go here for a second.
Just, I mean, and people will probably contest that, but like on stage, like, yeah, they didn't put me on stage very much growing up, which is probably fine, but.
What was happening? What are your thoughts on this? Why do you think they weren't putting you on stage?
I mean, I was obsessed with classical singing, so like my voice was very like proper and like not like folky or rocky in the church that I went to.
Did they want you to rap, Calvin? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Were there some? Wait, but I'm sorry. That's a side note. Were there Christian rap groups too?
Of course.
Yeah, I love that shit. Go on. Sorry.
Toby Mac and this guy that wrote this Grits song. I don't know. Lecrae. Yeah. Sorry.
Jars of clay and Lecrae combined.
They probably have.
They definitely. And Collective Soul doing backup vocals. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so how did you? Were within this choir of not getting. You think they were letting you sing? I don't understand.
The worship team. Yeah, no, I played.
Worship. So you're part.
The band.
All right.
So I was playing keys and backup guitar for most of.
How many people are in that?
Depends. At least 4, and at most like 8. I mean, we play music multiple times a week, in different services and in different situations. Like, always.
Okay.
How I learned how to play guitar and piano was from playing in church.
I was thinking more like cheer squads for God because I've seen that.
No. This is just the band.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's funerals. You're doing all kinds of shit.
Every Sunday from multiple services.
Okay. How many services on a Sunday?
2 or 3. Saturday night service. And then Wednesday night service. Those are like the church-wide group services.
And then a couple special holidays.
Then we'd have the holidays too, but then we'd have Bible studies throughout the week. So then I had a Bible study on Monday, one on Tuesday evening, one on Thursday morning, and like.
That's a lot of Bible.
And then Friday night we'd have a worship night for fun, like just to do it. So like this is what I'm saying.
You guys, they can't wait for worship night. It's gonna be so crazy.
No, you were saying this is my script. This is what I did for a decade. This is what I did every week.
I'm so happy. I mean, I'm praying for you right now. There's the future me praying for the. Oh my God. Oh.
Every week, this is how I lived.
I know what you're talking about, and I only did it for like 3 months, and it's one of the longest 3 months of my life that I can remember.
I organized those events, and this is how I started doing concerts and how I started.
Come on, Jennifer, you're not coming? I heard you're going to stay home. We really need you. There was a lot of that?
A lot of that.
The party's not going to be the same without you.
God won't descend without
God's going to know that we're not all together because we've been doing this for so long. Okay, sorry.
It's just.
I need to move back to Kansas and make movies, don't I? That's my obsession. It's terrible. It's so terrible. All right, let's get to. So you're on the West Coast. You're doing tour. This isn't like one of those things where promoting is going to help here. But I just like talking about how it's hilarious that it's such a trashy podcast that this may not get released for like 4 months. But you're doing a West Coast thing. You're here for a month and a half or something, 2 months.
I haven't counted the days yet.
The universe will tell you.
Right. Yeah. I've just been out here.
You don't have a plane ticket back.
I don't. I mean,
awesome.
Yeah.
Best way to travel. Truly.
I don't, and it's okay. But I feel like I got suckered into it just because of kind people that invited me to be here. Like, I didn't start this year thinking I would spend multiple months in California.
No.
And then they're just like, oh, come next week we're doing it.
Well, in New Year's, when you're somewhere in the marijuana valleys of California and playing harp at a New Year's Eve party, and you've already been there for 3 months, not trimming, but playing music while people trim, you'll go, hey, this is what happened.
Right.
California, fuck. It's probably very lucrative. Do you want to play some what is this? What do you have in front of here? Is this a flute?
I'm looking for a flute teacher. It's my new project.
Well, this is a good forum to ask the universe.
Yeah, since it's not a very timely podcast.
Yeah, you need a flautist.
I need a flautist.
I think in Berkeley there's plenty.
In Berkeley?
I'm thinking there's going to be like...
But I'm going to Oakland.
Not that's tonight. But Berkeley's right next door to it. Is that the... Is there anything you want to cover that we haven't?
I think we should talk about pasta.
Okay.
And, like, how
The proper
important it
density,
is.
the cooking time?
It's about the salt. Like,
Really?
yeah.
I think it's... Well, okay.
You have to salt your water.
I don't not salt my water.
But there are people that don't, and I'm really upset about it.
It's happened. I've done it. I don't stay up at night thinking about it. Okay, I'm more concerned about the al dente, like making sure.
That's obvious.
But you think that you have to have the salt in order to achieve the perfect al dente? No?
You just have to have the salt to make pasta taste good.
So you can achieve al dente and have it be still shitty
Bland.
pasta.
Worthless.
Wrong. So when did this start?
What do you mean?
This dead firm belief right here, like this traveling to Europe. Is this like? Are you
No.
speaking to me as an American?
As an American. Actually, here's a fun story. When I was 12 years old, I broke both of my femurs because I was growing too fast.
I can see. I actually believe that can happen.
It did happen.
And I yeah. And so I grew very quickly.
Yeah.
I was a late bloomer, and if someone had just told me how painful, like it was truly painful.
Yeah. People ask me if I had growing pains, and then I tell them no, but then I have to remember that I literally did break bones.
You would think you would remember that.
But I didn't associate that with like growing pains because it wasn't like.
Did you wake
like,
up when they were broken, or
No, I was walking around and like I was playing basketball with the first one, and I had ran down to grab the ball because it had shut off and went down the road. So I went down, bent over to grab it, and I felt a pop. Then I was like, oh, I don't want to play anymore today. Never mind. Bye, guys. And proceeded to limp on it for 6 months after I had been misdiagnosed. For our family physician, she told me that I had pulled a muscle and I should go home and stretch. So I went home and I stretched for one little motion, and I was like, no, this is wrong. This is not a muscle issue. This is a bone issue. And so then I just didn't do that anymore. And I limped around for 6 months. And my mother...
Because you're a martyr. I've done the same shit.
Yes,
I think I've had but I also think I've had a broken toe for almost 4 years and just kept re-breaking it and was like, whatever. Whatever, so my toe hurts. Moving on. Okay, so...
And then because I was on... So then we went back to the doctor. My mother noticed I was still limping and she was concerned, so she took me back to the doctor. And a new doctor.
Both of them, though? You go back in there to both?
No, it's still just the one.
Okay, one at a time.
Yeah. And
two at a time seemed like...
It was a lot, yeah. So I was on this... I was in surgery 2 days after that appointment.
Okay.
With an orthopedic surgeon. And then was on crutches for 6 months. Oh, no. Sorry. 6 weeks the first time. And then because I was only using the other leg for the entire 6 weeks, that one broke too. And then I was back in surgery 2 days later.
That was my guess.
Yeah.
Wow. I had a collarbone broken somewhere. Someone just touched me. Well, I was growing, and they touched me, and it just crumpled. It was so horrible. And I had to wear a bra. I had to wear a bra for the entire junior year of high school. It's really terrible. Anyways.
It is terrible.
On that note, I think it might be time for you to go to Oakland.
Yeah, I gotta go.
But we have to do one last thing before we go.
What's up?
We have to sing the theme song. We have to sing out. So, do you remember the theme song?
Nope.
Not at all?
Nope.
Damn it, I wish we were videotaping that. Your face was hilarious. All right, the theme song is... I don't take it personally. But I know it's a good fucking jingle. It's going places.
Yes.
All right. Time Waster Radio. Radio for those who refuse to listen. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whatever pitch you want to go for.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Time Waster Radio. Radio for those who refuse to listen. Oh my God! Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Calvin.
Thank you.
All right. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time in California. We're saying hello to everyone back in Kansas City.
Hello.
I know it's hot there. It's really cold and foggy here. It's not. It's actually warm.
It's actually warm.
Yeah, but
I
it's
was
foggy.
gonna pretend and say burr.
Yeah. No, there's lavender in the air, rosemary, and no mosquitoes. So.
Not a single one.
Not one single mosquito. All right, we love you. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, Calvin.
Yeah. Cheers.
Bye. Perfect.